Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to Sunnybrae Mansion. We'll take a little wedding tour and get a little feel of what we have here. There is a lot of history. Come on in. First, you have to ring the doorbell, of course. Hear the doorbells. Just a little bit about the construction quality here. You can see this thing. It's all built by the DuPont years and years ago. There are 30 rooms here. There's 9 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, 3 kitchens, and a lot of other rooms. And actually, there's so many rooms that we named all the rooms. The first floor is named after presidents and first ladies. Second floor rooms are named after famous people. Third floor is after family, and lower levels after famous people. This is Grant Hall right here. And in each room, you can see where we put a plate. So if you want to take a friend through, you know which room you're in. And over here, like I said, this is Grant Hall, and this is Ulysses S. Grant's speech to Congress in 1880. Okay, in here, this is another president's room, and this is actually a baby grand piano, which you're welcome to play. It actually plays itself, or you can play it. A little bit of Beatles, and then it plays itself, and this plays all kinds of wedding music. It does have a built-in symphony with the horns and violins. Now, and then if you want to go back in time, you come over here to the 1935 radio. Now, it takes just about 10 seconds for the tubes to warm up, and then you can hear some music from an old-time radio. It's clear out today, so usually we get reception. But anyway, the reception's not too good. The mansion does have a lot of antiques. All this furniture here is 1860s, 1880s. There are a number of places where you guys can get terrific wedding photos. In here, this is an old French armoire here, and these are actually the Fighting Blue Hens from the University of Delaware. They're in bronze. In here, this is the Eleanor Roosevelt room. Another little nickname, it's the Pink Sun Porch. And anyway, again, most of the furniture is 1880s, 1860s. One important thing about the place, we can heat and air condition every square inch really fast. And again, great photos in here. Okay. We're now in the main dining room. We named it the George Washington room. This is a little statue of George Washington. We did have a little bit of family fun here. This is one of our daughters over here. We had each one of our daughters done in an 1860s look. This is actually Sarah. She has a boy 6, boy 4, and a little girl 1. And anyway, little photos in each different room. Now a little more on the history end. This clock here is 1830, not 1930, 1830. You can see the old heavy weights and the old slats in it, and it works terrific. This is some real old cut leaded glass. This room here is the Abe Lincoln room. We kept all the colors original that were here, so this is a blue color to it. This is an 1860s fainting couch here, and this is a 1920s couch here. It's just a nice place to come in, just kind of, sometimes they set up tables and chairs in here, just kind of chill a little bit. Okay, in here, this is the Teddy Roosevelt room. This is actually my family here. That's my wife in the middle and their children. And then over here, one of our wedding couples got married here June 29 and 19. They hired a professional watercolor artist to come back here and paint the place. And actually, they didn't tell us they were going to do it. I came up to the wedding, and one of the guests walked up to me and showed me this wedding invitation. So I took and blew it up and framed it. And our new wedding couples are welcome to use this to use for their wedding invitations. Yeah. Now, this is a real old antique organ. Years ago, you had to pump them, and then later years, they put electric kits in them. Anyway, it still carries a tune. Now, this is Elfers Alley, one of the oldest named alleys in the country. It's in downtown historic Philadelphia. The family that lived here were the Elfers, and like I say, they lived here 60 years. And if you go to see the Philadelphia Phillies play now, there's an Elfers Alley eatery in the stadium named after this family. This is a horse and rider out front. And then a little bit closer to family here, this is my grandfather and his mother. He was born in 1857. Okay, we're in the tea room now. We named it the Ben Franklin room. And then this is actually Delaware glass made in the 1890s. That's the gold holly leaf and the gold dogwood flower. And they made it in several different patterns. And that's actually an old 1898 Bible they left here. It's kind of gotten beat up a little bit, but inside it's really overall in good shape. Okay, let's go in here. This is actually their cedar closet, and they left most of these furs here. These are the white foxes of Alaska. Here's your mink, here's your red fox. This is a silver fox. That's a 1920s wedding dress. You can see some of the old shoes they left around here. And then later years, they came with the technology where they put a switch in the door, so when you shut the door went off. Now, they also, in later years, they put the technology of a phone intercom system in here. These are all throughout, and these are real pearl buttons. Study, master bedroom, third floor, pantry, basement, garage. Now, presently, they don't work, but in about 30 days, a guy's coming in. He's going to get them all working. So when our guests come in, you can pick up the phone, talk to each other in different places in the mansion. Okay, this is one of the kitchens here. And this is actually the dumbwaiter. It's a triple decker dumbwaiter. And actually, it has a plate on it. It was made in Poughkeepsie, New York. And, but yeah, years ago, they'd make the meals in the lower levels and send them up. So if anybody still wants a sandwich, we can send you up one. A little more about the histories of the pieces here. This is an old French piece. This is actually black marble. And this is a 1945 survey of the property. That's the front gates. They even surveyed where every tree was at the time. That's the mansion there. And then this is an old stained glass window. These are painted on pheasants, and these are carved glass jewels. And when the sun is really bright, the spectrum of colors comes in here. It's really pretty. Now, the fellow that built the place he worked for the DuPonts in Wilmington. And when he got ready to build, he went to the DuPonts, and they gave him a copy of some of their blueprints. You can see the DuPont architecture in this mansion. And these are copies of the originals. Now, years ago, Colonial Homes Magazine, a nationwide magazine, came here and did a story in the early 80s, and this is what it looked like then. We never knew this existed. After we purchased the place, an old lady came up to our front door and gave us this old magazine she had saved from years ago and give it to us about this place, so we took it and framed it. These are copies of original floor plans, which they stayed with. This guy wrote Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Othello. This is a master bedroom here. This is a master bath. And then this is a master changing room. And for our brides, most of them during the day, they'll come up here and they will, do their hair, their makeup, take a lot of nice photos, and get ready for the ceremony. Yeah. And we do have a guard dog here. This is Fido. And so we have to keep one of them around. I did mention there are 7 bathrooms. Everything works fine. All these chandeliers are original. The copper ceiling, they said years ago when they put it up, they coated it with polyurethane so it would never tarnish, and it hasn't. Yeah, and for a guest, all the towels and linens are all in here. Yep. Okay, now, this was her phone booth here where all the business deals got made. Of course, it's a great photo op for brides and grooms. Okay. This is the DuPont room here. And it's got a real old tapestry here. And when you look out the windows here, all the views are beautiful looking out the windows. And then in this portrait over here, that's actually me in that portrait. And you can see one of the old phones they had around here years ago. Okay. Now, I do want to point these out on most of the doors, and these were all original. We left them on here, these different kinds of door knockers. Okay. As you can see, this has a little different door knocker. This is Edward Monk Davis room here. Again, we had a little fun with the family here. This is our son here, Will. He's in a Confederate uniform over here. But you see the old tapestries and the old marble top tables. One of them's actually framed out. And these are actually painted on silks. They're like 200 years old, but years ago they'd take paint on a piece of silk and then frame them. Okay, there's 5 more bedrooms up here. That's actually a very old, famous painting. This is another stained glass window here. It's got a lot of red in it, and then it's got the aqua and amber carved glass jewels. And again, when the sun's really bright, it's a really nice spectrum of colors in here. And this is a drawing of the front gates when they got ready to build them years and years ago. This is another one of the phones that they had here. Now these are family bedroom. This is a Holden bedroom. This is has a single bed. And actually, that's an old captain's desk back there. And of course, a little more history here. That's actually Shirley Temple there in the photo. Okay. Now in here, this is a Kimmel bedroom. And this is actually my wife over here, Karen. And then this is her father. He was a dentist here in town. And then I was the youngest of 5 children, but my sister was 2 years older than me. Rita was named after Rita Hayworth, a 1950s movie star. Okay, you can see the marble top tables here and different antique pieces. Okay. This is another large bathroom in here. And you can see it's got a stained glass window here. And then this little supply closet. But you can see the old mirror here. And even this bathroom floor. Years ago when they were all put in individual pieces. Now, you know who this group is. They're famous. Now in here, this is actually one of her daughters, Mary, and this has a single bed in it. And you look out the telescope here, you can see the rover on Mars or the eclipse or, you know, a lot of things. I'm just kidding, it doesn't see very far. But anyway, this is an old piece, and these are actually matching ceramic pieces done by a famous Italian, Pucci, P-U-C-C-I. He signed the shells there. That's an old candelabra over there. Okay, in here, this is Gibson room, named after my mother-in-law, Doris, and that's a famous actor there. He was in Gone with the Wind. Clark Gable's the name. This is an 1860s wagon. Okay, let's go out here. Okay. You can see it's a pretty good height through here. One thing I want to point out about the construction quality of the place, you'll notice all the doors are real thick doors, They all have 3 brass hinges. They all have the glass knobs. And then after we rolled in here 23 years ago in 2002, Delaware Today magazine came here and they did a nationwide story. And they published it in February 2003, and that's our family then. They wrote a real nice article. They named it the Estate of Grace. Okay, this is another large closet. This is another large linen closet. And then this is another bedroom, and it has a sleigh bed. And then back in here, it has its own full bath. All these are original. Everything works terrific. That's a real old piece there. And then you can see the mirror's really old, yeah. Okay. This is actually our youngest daughter here. She got married a few years ago. And she actually wants us to do a new one of hers because she was in her awkward stage there. Okay, let's go down here. Okay, we're back on the first floor now. And this is actually the maid's quarters at one time. Well, we have a bed in here and it has its own full bath. And then you see the old sewing desk and the old secretary's desk here. Okay, and this is a side entry to the outside. This is our workroom here. This is another bathroom here, and this is actually Monticello. That was Thomas Jefferson's home down there in Charlottesville, Virginia. And then this is a Saturday evening post-production of a wedding. It's published June 5th of 37. That's kind of when this place was finished. Okay, let's go back this way. Now this is pretty much the main kitchen here, and pretty much everything's here, knives, forks, spoons, all those things, and everything works fine. Now in here, this is actually the family tree they left here. This goes back to 1600. This is the Lippincott family tree. See here it says born 1650, died 1697, and almost every leaf has a name on it. And this lady in this article, and like I say, the previous owners gave us all this. This is published in the 60s. The Alfreds, who lived here 60 years, come to Milford most weekends. Sunnybrae, their Milford home, is one of the show places of Delaware, and that was published in the 60s. Okay, let's go down here. Okay, all these flags were up in the closet when we arrived, so I took and hung them up. This is Bicentennial 48 star, 13 star, and 50 star. And you can see also we have a lot of old beer mugs we've collected, the German mugs. Now, very importantly, we are handicap accessible. There is a handicap ramp outside. This is a handicap knob. And then for couples that stay, we have 2 sets of cornhole, we have Monopoly games, puzzles, we have fold-up tables and chairs, so they have plenty of little activities to do. This is the old antique doorbell. Okay, now down here, we're going to go down to the man cave now. We're all graduates of University of Delaware, so this is the 1918 University of Delaware football team. This is the 1905 University of Delaware football team. And this is a 1908. They look kind of like the jailbirds there with their shirts. Okay, so while the ladies are getting ready upstairs, the guys come down here and do the important things. They play cards, they shoot pool, and then they can get a cold Pepsi over here at the bar, and then they still get it for nickel. This is one of them old-time cash registers. And then one of our guests, we have chess games, chess over there, but anyway, one of them was creative, so he set all these up here, these chess pieces, so we left over here. A few years ago, the University of Delaware football team had their spring practice out front, and they all walked up the lane, and we had a picnic here for them, and we took a picture out front. This is all the coaching staff. That's actually me there, and that's my wife, but anyway, that was fun. One step a little closer, this is Dale Fry. He's our cousin, lives in Middletown. He was a starting quarterback for University of Delaware in 93, 94. Yeah, he had a very good career. This is our grandparents in an old photo. This is another kitchen here for the guys that come down here and hang out, you know, you put a cold, like I say, a few cold Pepsis in here. This is where they used to use the dumbwaiter and send the meals up and things. And then they'd call on this phone and say, hey, your sandwich is ready. And they'd send it on up. Okay, now this here, we call the stress reliever here. So the grooms come down here, they can beat around on this and anyway, get some important things done. Now this is actually the Robert E. Lee sitting area. That's a little statue of Robert E. Lee, and this is a replica of the famous oil painting of Robert E. Lee. Just so you know, this chair here is going. That's why. We're going to carry it out later. But anyway, this is the wine room they had here. And you can see there's been a lot of wine, different drinks had here. We named this the Astor's Wine Room. Now, a lot of you people have been in the PNC Bank and all. This is a full-size bank vault here. It's got a 3-foot fire-rated door, and years ago, in the hard depression, they kept a lot of money here. There's actually old safety deposit box keys. They're still here, where they keep a lot of money here and lock it up. And then as we restored the place, we brought down the old parts and saved them. Now, one thing, on the corners of the property, the owner, Edward Monk Davis, when he built the place, he stamped the concrete markers with his initials on top of them, which is kind of cool. Okay. Now, let's go back here. Okay, yeah. This is the bottom of the laundry chute here. And then behind you, they had a few horses here years ago. They'd hang up their bridles. And then over here, this is the Stearns incinerator. They burnt their own trash here. And then after we got here, we took and rewired the whole place so everything's up to code, those type things. Okay. Come on in here. All right, this is another large bathroom. And it actually has a double shower. Everything works great. And you see the old glass in this door. And then we are proud of this. This didn't work when we got here, but we got it going again. So very important. And okay. In here is the original bar and the original barber shop. And the original, they used to come up here and say, can I have a cold beer? And this is part of the original bar. And then the old barber's chairs here, because the original owner wouldn't go to the barber shop, he had the barber come here. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go in here. This is actually when my wife and I got married here, November 27, 82. Yeah, she's German, I'm Irish. Okay, let's head back up here. Now, just before you leave, we do have a 1-hour history exam you have to take on what you just seen as you did this tour. You see it is 4 pages long, but we just want to test you, make sure you took everything in. But actually, a real cute story on this. 5 years ago, 2 Red Hatters came in. My wife gave them a tour, and they were writing the whole time. The next day, 50 Red Hatters came in. They had their lunch and visited and everything. Then these ladies took them on a tour. And when they got done the tour, they threw a quiz on them. And they all took this quiz. So Karen, my wife, brought it home. I went through it, so we made it into a walking tour. So when our guests come here, they can take this, it highlights each room, and then give a little self-guided tour. Okay, now, one thing I do want to stress, we do present everyone with their own very special, private, exclusive brochure when they come here and take a tour. Okay, let's go outside and we'll see the reception area. Okay, you can see we're very fortunate. We have a lot of nice landscaping, a lot of nice flowers. And actually we planted these, but these honeysuckles grew wild. And I'll tell you, we left them because when you come by here, the aroma of the smell is just so good. So we had to leave the honeysuckle. Uh, you do see our nice, we're of course very proud Americans. There's our big American flag up there. Okay, let's go in here. And this is our reception area. And a lot of our brides and grooms, they'll set up high top tables along here. Just kind of come out and kind of have a cold one and just kind of visit with each other and talk. And then you're welcome to come on in here. This is the reception area, and it does hold, it holds 180 very comfortably. You can get more in here if you kind of arrange things differently. And then there's all kinds of configurations for different sizes you use. So there's a whole array of things. And just so you know, it is all it's all insulated. It's all air conditioned and heated. And down here, outside, we have a fire pit because a lot of our guests enjoy being around a fire pit. Do what? Open it. Oh, and for some of our guests, some of them like to have the doors open. So just so you know, you can open the doors all the way up. And on a real nice day, you just kind of be inside and out. So it kind of gives a little extra space and a little extra room and just more area for people to enjoy. Okay, let's go here. Okay. Now this is the fire pit. What's really nice, it has directions right on, and it's a little gas fired up, so it's real easy to use. And you turn the flame up or turn it down a little bit, you know, whatever you prefer. Now we do want to walk out here to this statue. And while we're walking out here, we'll do a little bit of a tree tour. This is a beautiful Kwanzaa cherry. This is a hybrid sycamore. This is a sugar maple here. This is a Norway maple. This is a red crepe myrtle where the whole month of August, the flowers are real dark, beautiful red. This is what we named the Freedom Watch Soldier, and we actually dedicated it to all those who fought for freedom. And this, on this side, we put the Gettysburg Address, which Abe Lincoln gave that speech in Gettysburg, November 19, 1863. Now, if you come on around here, actually these stones here, these slate stones, they were all taken up from the walks of Sunnybrae, and we brought them over here and put them up here. And over here, this tells the whole story of it right here. The Freedom Watch Soldier was dedicated November 19, 2006, the anniversary of President Lincoln's death, to all those who fought for freedom, and to Lynn's loving wife, son Will, and 3 daughters, Sarah, Mary, and Katie. And it just tells a little bit of the history about it. But yeah, a few Chinamen actually did this in Beijing, China, and sent it over here. Yeah, he's the same guy that did our photo, our drawings in the mansion. Yeah. Now, just so you know, these lights are amber. So of a night, it looks like this statue's in front of a campfire. Yeah. Okay, let's go over here. And just so you know, there are 44 trees down this lane. Every other tree, two of them are sawtooth oaks, and then the other two are sunset red maples, two sawtooth oaks, two sunset red maples, and then all the way at the end, there's some beautiful red crepe myrtles, and then the weeping willows at the end where you come in. And this is a flowering magnolia here. Okay. Now, as far as there are a variety of places that a bride and groom can have their ceremony. One of them is our stone gazebo. We're going to walk it right now. Of course, this is our guard dog right here. She has to approve all brides and grooms before they can get married here. Of course, her name's Coco. Now, this is a stone gazebo over here, and many of our couples like this because it's a little more quaint. But we've had several. They'll put like 150 chairs out here, give or take the size of the wedding, and they'll say their vows in here with the justice of the peace here, and sometimes like a little violinist playing here or a little cello. So it's a nice little romantic ceremony. And this is a beautiful weeping willow. And then this is all red roses for the whole month of April. And then this is a red maple here. So it gives it a lot of nice color over here. Okay, and then behind you there, that's actually a sassafras. So sometimes there's a little aroma to the sassafras tree, and some people like it. Uh, Now, as far as we do want to mention parking, uh, we've had as many as 450 people here, so we park really on in the back, and it is a 90-acre estate, so there's plenty of room for parking back here. Now, for real large parties, they'll get a little porta potty and put here. Your smaller parties, there are 7 bathrooms in the mansion. They're welcome to use those. Okay, let's go over here. And again, you can see the different types of landscaping here. This is actually here an old Norway spruce. And these are actually sycamores. That's a sycamore hybrid. This is a flowering magnolia. Yeah, we call these 3 sycamores our big 3 because they're all huge. Now, most of our wedding couples get married here. They will roll a red carpet out here. They'll put 150, 200 chairs out here, and then they announce them as they come out. And sometimes they'll put a little arch here with flowers all over it, and they'll walk through it. And then they usually decorate the wedding arch over there too very well. This tree over here is actually we call our Smith Family Robinson tree. Uh, There was actually an old Walt Disney movie at one time called The Swiss Family Robinson, and they lived in a tree. But you can see how this tree is in different. Some of our guests actually climbed this so it's they kind of enjoy it. Yeah. Okay, let's go over here. This is actually a deodora cedar here. And what's really nice about those, the pine needles are always real soft. This right here is a poplar. Uh, this is a Norway maple, but you can see it's kind of it's got 5 legs to it. It's kind of wild. Okay. Uh, this is a black oak here, gorgeous. And this is another sawtooth oak. Now, how do you tell them? See the leaves here? The leaves look like they're saw blades. They have little saw blades on them. That's where it gets its name, sawtooth oak. And one other thing about the sawtooth oak, that's one there, and that's a sunset red maple. When you come up the lane in the fall, what's really beautiful, the sunset red maple, when it turns leaves, it's like a maroon red. They're beautiful. And then the sawtooth oak doesn't lose many of its leaves, but it turns tan. The leaves turn tan, and the colder it gets, the golder the leaves look. So it gives a real gold look in the winter, which is really pretty. Okay. This is our pergola, and a few of our couples get married right here. They'll put 100 chairs out here soon. They'll get married right here. Uh, Now, okay. Come on over here. And you can see in another year or two when these weeping willows get a little size, it's going to be gorgeous right here. Yeah. This is a white oak here. They have these nice waxy leaves. Okay, now, in here we actually have usually resident 2 ducks in here, a male and female mallards. Today, while we're filming, of course, they're not here. Now, one of our wedding couples, kind of as a joke, like 5 years ago, threw 2 goldfish in here. It's only 3 feet deep, but now there's like 100 goldfish in here. They've just thrived. So when you come out to get married, please bring your fishing pole. Now, any other, oh, there's one over there. Any other time they're at the top of the pond, oh, there's a few there. But it is funny, the 2 goldfish they threw in here were gold. Now, all the offspring are all kinds of colors. Yeah. Okay, now let's go up here. And these are actually miniature roses here. These are your bigger roses, but these are actually miniature. They kind of flower all year long. Uh, and I think I mentioned a lot of our couples get married right here with Justice of Peace here, a singer over here, or a violin player, and then about 100, 150 chairs out here, and just a really great photo op. Okay, that kind of concludes our tour. Thank you for visiting, and we look forward to having you here at Sunnybrae.